Good evening, Mr. CFO. Thank you for your time here today. I know your time is very valuable, so we'll be sure not to waste it. We understand that our company's charitable foundation will be donating an additional $10,000 to a nonprofit organization next year, and are currently seeking proposals as to how to spend the ludicated funds. I believe that our group has found the perfect nonprofit organization to receive this additional $10,000. We sincerely believe that the American Heart Association should receive this additional $10,000. My group and I have done extensive research on this nonprofit organization, and we can confidently say that the American Heart Association is deserving of this additional $10,000. We'll begin by talking about America without, or how America would look without the American Heart Association. Then we'll transition to talking about the numerous benefits that the AHA provides. And finally, we will address any objections against the American Heart Association. Anyways, let's get into that first point as well as introducing the slideshow.
Well, there are multiple benefits of the American Heart Association. Some of the most notable ones are that the American Heart Association has been around for over 100 years helping people. The American Heart Association has funded 15 Nobel Prize winning scientists that have made breakthroughs in heart and health science, and with that, being able to do more studies and create new discoveries in the heart health field. The American Heart Association is a very well known and trusted source that people can go to find verified information. And this is really helpful because it is such a vetted source that it just allows for information to be verified. The American Heart Association has donated over $5 billion into research development for heart and brain science. And these developments have led to breakthroughs like CPR. CPR is practiced by 22 million individuals in the United States a year, and it saved countless lives. So it's a very important thing that the American Heart Association has spent funding to develop and implement. The American Heart Association also supports other countries, so it's not just internalized to the United States. It has outreach to over 80 countries and allows this outreach to spread important information to third world countries that usually wouldn't have that sort of resource. And this is from the help of 22 million supporters across the globe for the American Heart Association.
Benefits of the AAH. The AAH has funded 15 Nobel Prize winning scientists that have made breakthroughs in heart and health science. The AAH is a very well known and trusted source that people can rely on for verified information. The AAH has donated over $5 billion into research development for heart and brain science, leading to breakthroughs like CPR. And the AAH also supports countries to allow for accurate and helpful information accessible to over 80 countries with the help of 22 million supporters.
Leading to our last point, just like many organizations, American Heart Association has been in a controversy, and this controversy has led to some objections. Based on the Veg News article that was written, American Heart Association was being sued by the animal advocacy group called Animal Outlook because of the use of the Heart Check certification mark that was on certain meat products that the companies pay American Heart Association to use. Just like in the picture below on the slide, there is a check mark on the meat that these companies pay the American Heart Association to use. In this lawsuit, it was stated that the American Heart Association allows companies to display their markings on certain meat products, and this deems them as heart healthy. Based on a journal that was published on the behalf of the American Heart Association, it recognized that the higher meat intake that is associated with cardiovascular disease. Seeing as though the American Heart Association has stated many a times how red meat has more of a saturated fat being red meat, high fat meat like pork, lamb. They all have more saturated fat than chicken and can cause your blood cholesterol to increase your risk of heart disease. This can lead to a mislead in many consumers. In late 2021, Animal Outlook sent a letter to the American Heart Association asking the organization to stop processing these products as heart healthy in exchange of a fee, but the American Heart Association refused. The American Heart Association endorsement with these meat products, the Heart Healthy Check, misleads the consumers into thinking that these product is backed by science, is good for their heart, but in turn it's not. These processed meats can increase your risk of coronary heart disease by 18%. The executive director of Animal Outlook stated it would stand to reason that consumers who see a Heart Healthy Check certification would assume that American Heart Association deems these products to be healthy for their hearts and don't realize that the producers pay the American Heart Association, which in turn awards the certifications. And this leads to our last point.
With all these points in mind, the best conclusion is that the $10,000 is best well spent to the American Heart Association. Without the AHA, America will be left in the dark about its number one killer, as well as leaving its underrepresented communities potentially without the information that they need. The benefits that this organization brings, such as funding life-saving research, advocacy for healthier communities, as well as working towards equitable healthcare, makes these $10,000 worth so much more. Please support our proposal to give this money to this organization. Let's let our money go to a good cause that will not only help America, but potentially help the world.